Maybe you know who's this. The guy in the middle of the street.
Rogers of the Geico commercial.
Yeah.
Happier than a.
They called me about that when I was. Yeah, I had to work that night.
You had to work that night.
Oh shit. Hey man, welcome back to the Garage Pod.
National Players Club Garage Pod presents Garage Pods.
You know when it's actually like the third installment, it's actually getting to that point where
Take another drink. Salute.
salute.
And there's no
Hey,
here tonight.
here's all the
Yeah,
Alaskans that are checking in on us.
Yeah, where you guys at? Killing me.
We're going to jump into this week's picks. Our picks, Sharky's picks, and
guest caller. We have a guest caller. Producer said, "Be ready." So they're setting it up as we speak.
So we gave you Sharky's wins losses of last week. It was a 50-50 split. What did I say? It was 6-6. I meant 3-3. In any event, he's 50-50 with our guest Sharky. We'll end up with another guest Sharky when we wrap this
It's the
up.
same guest Sharky.
That's no different.
It's the same guest Sharky.
We found another shark. It doesn't matter.
Shark.
All sharks look the same.
Exactly. What are you?
Oh, we all look the same to you, don't we?
You're a sharkist.
You know what? I've been eyeballing this picture, and I'm trying to picture it with him now. But there's a picture back here of Aaron on a sailboat with this long hair. Got a nice little Jerry curl to it. One day, I want to see him just do it, just for shits and giggles. But and giggles.
All right.
Girl with hair.
The Guido, it's the Guido curl. He's Italian.
I'm still out of time. I got that last night too. I keep telling people I'm not like it's a dark hair, dark skin. All right. Dutch Irish, so is it Black Irish? All right.
Into the picks of the week.
We're so spinning off the rails here.
It's worth it though.
All right. What's the first matchup?
First matchup, we got DK Comics versus the East Coast Meat Puppets. It's the father-son battle to the death.
Oh, you want to start down there, or we start with me?
I think your boy's gonna whip your ass.
So Kevin's got Devo taking it. I'm gonna go ahead and call Devo on this too. He's been powerhouse in points.
He does. He put up mad points last week. He's got a strong team. He filled out the 1 weak spot that he had. Although he dropped Jermichael Finley, who was picked in the 5th round as the 5th tight end overall. Although he's been thrown to, is now out there, and he's still being serviced by arguably, what they said, one of the highest power offenses in the league right now. Although he hasn't produced up to this point, I expect him to be snatched up by somebody because he will come around. I will see Jermichael Finley scoring touchdowns before this week's over. That said, Matt Ryan, he lit up for me week 1. He didn't produce last week, but he produced enough. He was still 20-plus points. He picked up Martellus Bennett. I didn't pick up a replacement tight ends or replacement tight ends going against each other. I'm saying, like I said, and I'm a homer, I got to take Matt Ryan, goes back closer to his first week's production, and upsets, what do you got? Andrew Luck? Really? He's throwing to my wide receiver. Good luck. Anyway, that's my pick of the week.
All right, so moving on, we've got Bernie and the Barflies. So we've got Battle Between the Sheets, Part 2.
Battle Between the Sheets, Part 2.
Let's start at this end.
No, let's start at that end, because that's not the one I had lined up.
Hey, I'm just going down from one.
I'm going with Bernie. She's gonna get the win this week. Much deserved, much needed. And anything that makes John squirm and maybe have to do the dishes for an extra couple of days, I'm down for that.
I'm going to take Bernie for the simple fact that she always manages to pull something without looking at a lineup. Drives me crazy.
Needs to look at it this week.
Yeah, look at it this week, though.
See, you say that, but she hasn't been able to do it for the first 2 weeks. John's situation is a coin flip. And you've got looking at Peyton Manning, who didn't produce last week, is looking at 15 points prospectively this week. Dalton, who blew up last week, was prospected 14 points. So it's literally a coin flip on his end of it. I expect Aaron Rodgers to show up this week, which is why I think it's going to be the decision-making process in that particular matchup. Alma Bradshaw is toast. Obviously, she's probably not going to start this week, but she's got some people on the bench that she can move up. They can at least offset that enough to where as long as Rogers does even half what he's supposed to do, then I think I give the win to Byrne. She gets her first win of the year, knocks John down to 1-2.
So this week we're going unanimous Byrne across the board.
Unanimous.
Barflies are getting burned.
Across the board!
Burn it. All right. So next up we got Road Rash versus the Gnomes.
I'm actually picking this as my upset. Yeah, I'm going with the Gnomes because I think she's managed to put together a good team. She's got some decent players on her bench to fill in her holes, and I think
Wow, I'm not even touching that. Just let that go.
PG kids, PG.
Any hoodles. But I think she's going to hand Micah's first loss of the season.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Road Rash on this. She is hurting and suffering in some positions. They may not fill the hole. I'm going to stop there.
Fill the hole.
Fill
the hole.
You got Tom Brady going up against the Ravens, which is going to be a tough matchup. So that's going to limit her quarterback. There's a whole lot going against her. If it is the Gnomes, it's going to be close. If not, Road Rash is running away with it, especially if he starts RG3, who's looking like a beast. I mean, he's looking like a young Michael Vick. So
I see that. So you're going with...
I'm taking the Road Rash. I'm taking Road Rash.
Taking Road Rash. Okay. I got to flip the script here for a second. You got RG3. He put back in the lineup. I get it. Needed to do it. I expect him to probably do it again. Brenna Marshall showed up huge week 1, didn't show up at all in week 2. I think this game comes down to which Brenna Marshall shows up and which Tom Brady shows up. Last week, it was a nightmare against Arizona, a lesser team. You didn't expect it. They cut them off guard. They lost Aaron Hernandez. But I don't put Kraft as one of those head coaches that doesn't go in and adjust accordingly. I'm sorry. What did I say? Kraft. The owner. I'm sorry. The owner apparently is now the head coach. Belichick. Yeah, that's my team.
Yeah, go figure. And he's
Kraft is the owner.
Yeah. He's saying the owner in Dallas is the head coach.
Oh, yeah.
Prove me wrong.
in any event, but back to what I was saying. So, yeah, it's whenever Brandon Marshall shows up and whenever Tom Brady shows up. Yes, they are going up against a tougher defense, but I think he goes in there, gets them prepared. They brought in Kellen Winslow to offset the Hernandez. They got caught off guard. They were out-coached. There was a number of things that went wrong. I think they fill that slot. They move to Welker. They move to some of their other skill positions. And I think Brady turns more into the quarterback than he's been in the past than he's been up in the first 2 weeks. I give the win to Nottingham.
All right. We've got 2 for the Gnomes, 1 for the Rash. We've got East Coast Lantern, or I do that every day. Emerald City. I'm going to have to like... ECL. ECL taking on Total Chaos. That's battle of the broadcasters here. Go for it.
Okay, do you realize? Do you know where the Homer picks are?
You know where 2 of the picks are.
I'm obviously going to pick myself on this one. I don't like Dallas's matchup against Tampa Bay. I just think that's going to be. It's not good. You know, that offense, Dallas' offense against Tampa's defense. I think Romo's going to have 2 bad weeks in a row. But I did pick them to win the NFC East. So.
You did.
They'll turn it around after this week.
All right, I'm going to take my team, of course. But what I'm looking at is Romo and the boys walking onto that field and looking at them like they're the Giants, this defending Super Bowl champ. They've had a bad week against a team they should have been able to crush and just messed it up left and right. Witten wasn't catching. The pocket was failing, and they're going to stand up against this Tampa Bay defense. And I see Witten getting his catches, Romo getting his yards, and Miles Austin still putting up decent numbers, which is going to be the turn point for what I have on my lineup already. Now, I do have Houston as my starting defense, which will change probably tonight, tomorrow morning. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Ravens up against New England just because the Ravens have shown a pass defense and a pass blitz that I don't think New England's line is ready for.
They're not. Our offensive line is a nightmare.
So I see my sacks and my interceptions out of there. Between those 4 of, 8? Yeah, 4 of 8. I'm seeing some good points coming.
I think Jason Witten is still bothered by that spleen injury. He's going to be a non-factor like he was last week. The first 2 weeks.
I'm gonna flip the script once again. We're gonna hopscotch this across. This game goes as Dallas goes. Tony Romo, I think, has got his. I think Witten's coming back a little healthier than he was before. Each week's going to get a little stronger. He's able to go in and play and not affect the game in the way that he would like to have. But he came out there basically bleeding out of his stomach and was basically trying to make blocks and other stuff. And I think he's better than he was before. But the thing is, you are heavily dependent upon Dallas's team. Your pick to move the Ravens over the Texans, I think, is wrong because you're looking at you got Texans, which is one of the highest ranked defenses, although Baltimore is as well. You saw what happened with Eli Manning and trying to throw that long ball last week through 3 picks in the first round. We've got another tight end back in. They've got another wide receiver back in. Yes, our offensive line is subject, but I think you get more out of the Texans if you start them than the game goes as far as Dallas goes. But I see Cam Newton. See Cam Newton doing
Erica,
what she's doing. I see Adrian Pearson stepping up. And I don't know. Like I said, this is literally. I could make the argument for why you would win, but I'm calling this as my upset of the week because I think based on this, if Dallas does well and you pick the right defense, you should take the win, but I'm calling this my upset of the week. For some reason, I think it just goes south.
Mark it. Put that down. So we got Show Me versus the Annihilators. Show Me reaching out for her first one of the season.
I think if Trudy puts in the lineup she needs to, she's going to win this game. She's hasn't put in the right players from time to time. I think, if she goes in there and does her homework, puts in who she needs to, she gets us this week.
Now,
sorry, Christy.
I said this in the past. Trudy, the last couple of years she's been in our league, has drafted strong starting teams. Everybody has been phenomenal players. They're supposed to be this. They're supposed to do that. They just don't show up. As long as she gets a good showing out of the players she has in her lineup as it stands, I think she has a real good chance of taking this. And actually, I think it's going to be a blowout. She's going to score some of her biggest points of the week this week. So I'm looking at over there. I noticed. I'm looking at Show Me putting up her big powerhouse points. So, Show Me.
Here's tricky one. You've got 2 0-2 teams. So this is actually a really good look at first. Yeah, it's battle for last place. So I mean, it's definitely one of those that's be interesting to watch. That's why I was kind of shuffling over here. I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait, both of them 0-2. So this is a must-need win for both teams. Annihilators, I mean, Eli Manning did what Eli Manning did last week, playing against Carolina. I don't expect him to do that again, but if he can even do half of that and McFadden can show up, you got your hands on the game. If Fitzgerald shows up, but here's the thing, that's if Fitzgerald shows up. If McFadden shows up, and those are 2 big ifs that haven't happened in the first 2 weeks.
There's a lot of ifs across the board on both teams.
You got Matt Stafford and Johnson, so that's a 1-2 combination. So again, this is one of those games that this will
and that is the combination for Detroit. I mean,
this game will go as Detroit goes.
Yeah.
That and the fact that your girl pulled Danny Amendola in from the bench. We're not going to see that kind of performance again from him from the rest of the year. Not those kind of numbers. But if he can, again, you can do half of that, and she gets the 1-2 combination going on, and the McFadden Fitzgerald situation doesn't get rectified, my win goes to Show Me those TDs for the first one per year. Yeah.
So Show Me across the board, and real quick because we only got a couple of seconds left. We got 2 pump chumps and Gordo.
2 pumps walks away with it. Sorry, Gordo.
Gordo, I'm taking you as my upset. You always manage to pull it out when it counts. It needs to count tonight. Well, Thursday night. So I'm going to take Gordo as the upset just because he's done it to me in the past.
I like his pickup and his start with the Giants running back this week. This is going to come down to what DeMarco Murray and Jarvis Spinellis does for him because he pretty much gets consistent play out of his quarterback and his tight end. Took up jumps, but with the points he's putting up, I got to give him 2 pump running 3-0.
3-0? Yeah, there you go. So we'll be right back.
We got our caller.
We've also got Sharky set up on standby. So
coming up.
Caller's coming up. Stick around.